Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Laura and I'm a young clarinetist from Melbourne, and I upload a lot of videos of me talking about the clarinet and playing the clarinet, and I put it online. So in case you haven't read the title of this video, I'm going to be showing you the 10 things that I absolutely cannot live without having in my clarinet case. They're always in my clarinet case at all times, so important. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what else you keep in your clarinet case, and make sure you subscribe to get more videos like this. So the first thing that I absolutely cannot live without, and I think this is especially true for all clarinetists, are reeds. So I usually keep about at least 10 reeds in my case. When I was in high school, it would probably be more like 3, but I usually keep a packet of D'Addario Reserve Classics in 3.5 plus in my case, so these would be the unopened. And I also have my reed case, which usually has about 10 reeds in here, so it will usually be full of D'Addarios, and lately I've been keeping a Ligier in here as well because they're great just in case all of your reeds are dodgy and you need to just have one that's ready to go. So reeds, very important as a clarinet player. The second thing that I absolutely cannot live without, and I think it's true for every single musician, are pencils. You need to have pencils in your case just in case you're in orchestra and you need to write something in your part. You don't want to be the person who's stuck without a pencil and everyone's writing and you're just sitting there really awkwardly. So I usually keep about 3 in my case. I've been known to sometimes find a lot more than that, but at least I know that I'm ready. The next thing that I always have in my case is Cork Grease. So as a music teacher, I get a lot of students who come to me, show me their clarinets, and their cork is falling off. It looks like a horror story. It's not great fun. So make sure that you're using cork grease on your clarinet whenever your corks are dry. So the ones that I use are the La Tromba cork grease. That's all natural, and this is the one that I recommend to my students. I recently picked up this one by BAM, which is a macaron shaped cork grease, and it smells like strawberries and it also doubles as a lip balm. So I love this one as well, so I've been keeping these 2 in my case. The next thing, which is an absolute must-have for any wind player, is some sort of cleaner. So I have a couple of swabs that I usually keep in my case. So the ones I've been using recently is a Bakun swab that came with the clarinet I have, and also a Beaumont music swab with this blue flowery pattern. So it's very important, especially if you have a professional wooden clarinet, to swab it out very frequently, just to make sure that you get all that moisture out of the wood and you look after it properly, and make sure you don't get water in your pads as well. Speaking of water in your pads, the next thing I always have with me is cigarette paper. So I don't smoke or anything like that, but I use cigarette paper for 2 different things during rehearsals. So if I get water in my pads, then obviously you just take one out, you put it under the key, you let it sit there for a little bit, and then you take out this, gets all the water out. You can do it a couple of times just to make sure all the moisture is out. The second thing I like to do, which is a little bit less common, is when I get a really sore bottom lip, I use this as a cushion so I'm not digging into my lips. So basically the way you do it is you put 2 pieces on top of each other and then you fold it in half. You do it lengthways like that, and then you do it, fold it in half the other way, and then you fold it in half again, and then you should end up with this little square, and then I fold that in half again, and you put that over your bottom T. And that'll just stay there and stop you from getting a sore bottom lip. The next thing that pretty much any musician cannot live without, unless you play the piano, is a tuner. So during university, this is the tuner that I used to use. I'll keep that in my case. But recently I've just been using a few different apps on my phone. So my go-to apps are N-Track Tuner, Tunable, and Tonal Energy Tuner. Next thing is Sandpaper. So if you play a reed instrument, you probably know what this is for, but if my reeds are too hard, then I will get the flat side of my reed and rub it on the sandpaper a little bit, and it'll just make it a little bit softer. It's also useful for balancing your reed. If your reed is a little bit unbalanced, you can scrape off one of the sides of the reed. So that's what I use this for. Next thing I always have is a microfiber cloth. My one is from Beaumont Music. It has dogs on it because I'm a massive dog person, but basically if you have silver keys and you want to make sure that they're not getting tarnished and they're staying nice and shiny and beautiful, then you just rub the microfiber cloth over the keys a few times and it looks like brand new. And the final thing that I always keep in my case is actually a fingering chart. So I got this when I graduated high school from my high school clarinet teacher. This is the 303 clarinet fingerings and 276 trills by Alan Sim. So in here, for example, this is a low E and it shows you all of the fingerings for a low E as well as different trills, so trilling a tone and trilling a semitone. And this is really useful because it has lots of alternate fingerings for altissimo notes as well, and it shows you which ones are more flat or more sharp. It's really good for alternate fingering. So for example, when you're playing the Stravinsky Firebird Infernal Dance excerpt, you have to use a lot of alternate fingerings, so it's very useful for that. And there's also a little spot in the back to write your own fingerings if you learn one in a masterclass or from your teacher as well, and I find it so handy.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube and follow me on Instagram at Laura Clarinetist. If you'd like to see the behind the scenes of this video, make sure to check out my Patreon, the link's in the description. Thanks!